Welcome back to New England Living. I'm Rachel Holt. Renowned across the music industry for its distinctive sound and look, Mason Hamlin has been manufacturing some of the world's most recognized pianos right here in Massachusetts. Up next, we're heading to Haverhill to discover the secret to their success with creative director Nathan Mabanglo-Burgett. You're carrying on a very rich tradition of piano building here in the U.S. and specifically Massachusetts. This business goes back over 170 years, right?
Yeah, it's been 171 years as of 2025, and it's been a really rich history.
How did it all start?
It started with two idealists, Henry Mason and Mason Hamlin, two people with very unique backgrounds, one more on the music side and then one more on the mechanic inventor side. Together, they wanted to build world-class instruments.
The mission from the beginning has always been to make the world's finest pianos. Now, that's a tall task. How do you even go about that?
It starts off with using the best materials as possible, really great craftsmanship, but also being very innovative, trying out a lot of new things, testing, and really connecting with the pianists.
This used to be a big booming industry. Now you're one of two manufacturers currently still active in the United States. Why is this something that you want to preserve and is really important to this business?
Mason Hamlin has such a rich history in the piano world. It was part of one of the main manufacturers during the golden age of piano building. What people sometimes don't know is that the modern piano that we know today was really constructed in Boston, Massachusetts. That's where the innovations really came about. And so to have Mason Hamlin go bankrupt and not be brought back would be a huge loss to the piano world. It was a huge endeavor to invest in Mason Hamlin, to rebuild the factory from the ground up, but it was one that was worth it.
All of this work going into making what you want to be the world's finest piano, what separates a Mason and Hamlin piano from the rest?
Yeah, there's probably two major features. One is the sound. The sound of our pianos are really what we like to call the American piano sound. And it's a sound that's very lush, it's very resonant, and it's characterized by three kind of core principles. One is the bass. It's this deep growling bass to it. The other section is the warm lyrical tenor. And then finally, it's the high end. It's a bell-like treble in the high end of the piano.
What are some of those ways that you're taking this piano into the modern age?
Big one is the piano action. The action is the translator between the pianist and the musical instrument. And typically a piano action was made from wood back in the 1900s. But today, we're one of the only companies that are creating a fully composite action. And so this is something that creates more consistency, better tone and volume in the piano, and kind of alleviates any big frustrations that an action can have.
This is your working factory in Haverhill. It spans 6 floors. There's a lot of action going on. What is the process of making these pianos?
The process kind of happens from the basement floor all the way up to the 6th floor. The basement floor is really where we're making the foundation point for the piano. It's the rim, and everything else gets built upon that rim. To build the rim, it starts with using the right materials. It's all hard rock maple that's created into small plies of it that are built up on top of each other, glued together, and then bent into the shape of the piano. The first floor is where we're doing all of our woodworking. It's the milling of the piano where we're making kind of all the inner components, all the small pieces you need to make the piano, and also the case parts, what you see on the outside of a piano. As it moves up to the 2nd floor, this is where we're installing one of our most unique parts of our piano. It's the tension resonator. It's what locks together the entirety of the piano so it doesn't change over time. And this really preserves the sound of that piano so it keeps its original tone from day one to 50 years into the future. It's what separates our piano from every other piano. Moving up to the 3rd floor is where we start to install the soundboard of the piano. And the soundboard is really the heart of the instrument. On these floors, we're also doing some of the most important hand craftsmanship. This is where we need to hand notch the bridge of the piano. This is a precise craftsmanship roll that takes multiple years to learn and many more years to master. On this floor, we're also stringing the piano. This is where we've inlaid the plate of the piano, and now we're starting to hand string up the piano, one string at a time. Next floor, which is where we install the action of the piano. It's really what allows the pianist to delicately translate any of the nuances that they have in the performance to the piano itself.
And after 5 floors of hard work, we're here on the 6th floor where we can see the finished product. And one of these pianos, it can take up to a year to make, right? So how many pianos are you producing in a week here?
Yeah, we're really a boutique piano maker. We're only making pianos in small batches from around 50 to 100 per year.
Given that you are spending so much time hand making and handcrafting, how does that affect the sound of one of these fine pianos?
Yeah, the piano is really a living instrument with all the natural wood, with all of the hand craftsmanship that goes into it. Every piano has that unique Mason Hamlin sound, but because it's a handmade instrument, each piano has a little unique character to it. They all have unique finishes to them, from polish to satin. Some of them have very exotic wood veneers, from limba to babinga to white sapelli. They really are a work of art.
Something fun is you invite the public in here to see what you do, up close and personal.
Yeah, we like to give tours every Wednesday, but also have custom dates if you can't make a Wednesday. But you get to see how a piano is built from start to finish.
Taking this piano company that originated in Boston over 170 years ago, now into the next generation, what's important to you about that?
It's really important taking what made the company so amazing in the past and moving forward into the 21st century. It's about preserving the quality of materials, the craftsmanship, and the innovative spirit of the company, and never resting on what we had in the past, but always moving forward.